when you are able to open up and share, and that comes with the go-giver mentality. Everybody's wanting to help. So
Right.
it's okay to expose your flaws.
Investing in yourself and kind of like basically could be coaching. It could be, like you said, audible, like listening to books, consuming books and content. Um, could be podcasts that you listen to. What's interesting to me is I obviously do a lot of stuff in real estate. I've always listened to a bunch of real estate podcasts and watch videos and stuff. And lately this is kind of crazy. I didn't do this a long time ago, but kind of broadened out and listened to a lot of like kind of business type stuff that's not necessarily real estate related. It's not real estate related at all, actually. And it's just a different perspective. It's refreshing. And honestly, I learned so much from it. I'll just tell you, there's this podcast called Business Wars that I've been listening to lately, and it is amazing. And it's, right now I'm listening to the one that's actually going right now, which they can't keep up with me. They're not putting them out fast enough, is Starbucks versus Dunkin' Donuts. So it kind of pits two companies. So there's another one I'm listening to, which is an older one. So when I'm done with the Starbucks versus Dunkin' Donuts, I'm going back to an older one, which is Southwest Airlines versus American Airlines. But a lot of these stories are like 3 or 4 hours long. They usually have like 30-minute segments, and there's 6 or 8 of them. And it's just fascinating to hear. It's a little bit of a biography. Some of it is probably made up because they don't know the whole story. But I guess that's how all movies are anyway. Even if it says based on a true story, it's like loosely based on. Yeah. But just to hear the decisions that were made, the struggles they went through, like they almost collapsed and then they came roaring back, and like those things are really just huge lessons learned for any business owner. So check out Business Wars if you haven't heard of that yet.
Yeah, I'll check that out. And that made me think of Shoe Dog, Phil Knight, his autobiography.
Yeah.
That was a very, very long book, but man, hearing about the struggles that he went through, that made me feel good, because some of those are the same that we have. We're trying to grow, so you need capital. So you can't just replace your income. You have to do more so you can grow and invest back in the business. But yeah, his book was great. Elon Musk's biography, if you haven't read that, that is very, very interesting to hear how
check that out. Yeah. Yeah. I'd advocate. So you're obviously a member of Investor Fuel. And one of the things, I know we both believe a lot in surrounding ourselves with people that are like us, or people that hopefully are even ahead of us, have kind of, gone down the paths that we're going down before, so you can learn from that. So even though, Elon Musk and Phil Knight are not in our mastermind, for example, there's a lot of people, it's much more relevant, right? Because they're in our subject matter. I mean, just talk about the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people, in terms of, how it's impacted you.
Oh, it's huge. I've really looked for a community of some kind to be involved with since I've been in real estate full time. And typically what I've found is it's either all newbies or a bunch of people that are very experienced that really don't care about helping people that are somewhere in the middle or whatnot. So getting around people that are successful, but then also have some people that maybe are successful but not as successful as you, having that good mix and everybody being able to work together, share, that's huge, because so often I've met people at different conferences and such, and they know a lot, but they really don't have any interest in sharing. And that's fine. I'm not saying anything bad against that or against them. That's their choice, their time. But for instance, our trip to Yellowstone, I picked everybody's brain. We talked about business. And there's some things that I'm doing that people are like, oh, wow, let me hear more about that. And that kind of made me go, you want to hear from me? Oh, that's kind of cool. I want to hear from you. So being around people like that is huge. I've already made several personal friendships in Fuel. So that helps both sides of the equation. I try to focus on my improvement, not just business, but some personal, some business.
It's like you said, it's an investment in people. Like when you're bringing people on your team, it's an investment in advertising, right? And I think even joining a mastermind, I mean, masterminds like ours are not cheap, but I think, for a lot of people that come in, they get way more than the cost back in value, sometimes in real dollars and cents, by like all of a sudden they're doing deals with people or finding something. But I think it's an investment. It's kind of betting a little bit on yourself and betting on the benefit that you'll get, because it's not always immediate. I think in our instance, sometimes we try to make it immediate for people. Like if you come in and we have discounts from different vendors and stuff like that, it might actually, depending on how much you're advertising, it might pay for your whole membership just by getting a discount to something you didn't have before. But I think there's a little bit of faith that has to go into it, that that investment's going to have a great ROI. But I think, one of the benefits of a group like ours, or, any kind of high level mastermind or group, is that if you can get to a point to where, and this is the culture we've tried to build, and I know you know this, is where it's based on giving, because people start to feel like, wow, I feel like I need to give more because I've gotten so much, right?
Yep.
And so sometimes you can't really get that at a RIA club, and you can't get it at because the experience level is too low, and you can't get it at even a local event sometimes, because usually it's all local investors and they're just not as open as they are when they get around a broader kind of national audience.
Right. And something, I know you won't take this the wrong way, but something I like about Fuel is it's not the Mike Handbright show.
Yeah. I don't want it to be the Mike Handbright show. I'm not I couldn't serve. The cool thing about it is, it's funny that you said that, because I just did a video. I just did something on that yesterday, but it's not, it's peer-to-peer, right? It's like I'm there facilitating, but it's not, I have experience, don't get me wrong, but my experience at the end of the day is pretty narrow compared to the think tank of everybody coming together. And so, I just try to facilitate the members, and obviously Stinson does too. We all just try to kind of curate the conversations and connections and stuff like that, so that people get what they need, because what I can offer from my experiences is narrow, but when I can connect people with other people that I think would help, the value is much bigger, right?
Yep, it is. And there's so many other things that come out of Fuel for me personally, that y'all very purposefully put in there, such as the being intentional with your goals and being accountable, having to get up every quarter and talk in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable for me, former Marine, that's not easy. I don't, I keep everything close, but when you are able to open up and share, and that comes with the go-giver mentality. Everybody's wanting to help. So It's okay to expose your flaws.